How do you do? We're about to unfold the story of Frankenstein. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. Well, we've warned you.
And you have been warned. Welcome back to Frankenstein Minute, the podcast where we dissect the Universal Frankenstein films minute by minute. I'm Bill Evenson.
And I'm Tom Lang, and we are at minute 25, where this is what you paid your money for.
25. It's alive.
It's alive at 25. Now there's a T-shirt.
That's right. See? People will be like, what does that mean? If you watch the film.
If you paid attention.
You put that on the back.
Yeah.
If you'd paid attention, you would have
You'd
noticed.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the culmination of the previous 24 minutes is what it's been leading up to. Sort of a big show-stopping scene. And this might have been quite a spectacle in 1931.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's like we talked about last week. It's part of our subconscious, our the pop culture zeitgeist. Everybody knows this is what's supposed to happen. 1931. This must have been quite something to see.
Yeah, if you had seen the movie, say, Frankenstein 20 years before, it wasn't quite like this. 1910 Edison Frankenstein.
Yeah. No,
this
not
isn't
at all.
In there. There's a scene. There's a scene where that's.
Did you watch it? Have you seen
I've
it?
seen the scene where the monster comes to life is impressive and a little silly in retrospect.
It is,
but pretty impressive
But for 1910, considering how
memorable.
Movies had only been around for 10, 12 years prior to that.
Sure.
It's impressive for that era.
Yeah.
But
nothing like this.
Nothing like this.
No Strickfaden there.
No, and I can't imagine on stage it being this impressive either.
What was it like on stage?
It's more like
that sounds like I'm serving a lineup to you, but I really don't know.
I don't either. I wasn't, and not having been there, and of course the Balderston.
I think there's some
Webbling,
lighting shit.
Yeah, lighting and such, but the Balderston and Webbling play was never produced because of the film.
That's right.
They bought the rights to it to prevent the competition and to make sure they owned everything. Because the novel, of course, was in public domain by 31.
Oh,
it was always.
Jeez.
It was always in public domain, really.
She
there
forgot
wasn't
to put the copyright on it?
Yeah,
it's like Night of the Living Dead thing?
Yeah, it's Night No, there really wasn't such a thing back then.
Okay.
Like all the plays that were produced, and some in her lifetime, she never saw a penny. There was no such. Anybody that wanted to could.
She put out 2 versions of the book, though, right, in her lifetime?
She put out actually 3, but one is sort of in between.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she probably made some bank.
Oh, she did. She did all right.
Plus, she was living pretty well, at least according to the one film that I've seen her appear in for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Things looked okay.
Things looked pretty good.
She looked like she was doing fine.
She was doing all right.
Mrs. Percy B.
Yeah.
Completely lost my train of thought. Oh, I assume in the play they were going to have telescoping legs.
Telescoping legs.
No,
not the table the monster did.
There
it was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, can you imagine?
No, I try not to.
I went and saw Marilyn Manson once, and it was, I can't remember the name of the album and tour, but he came out with this like weird helmet and weird like outfit on stilts.
Oh, yeah?
So he had like 4 stilts, and he came out and he looked like a sort of a 4-legged spider.
Oh.
It was really creepy and intense looking. And then that was like, he had his first album. This was like his second big album. And apparently that didn't work for him because he immediately went back to his old look. I was like, well, Marilyn Manson's exciting. He's going to change it up every couple of years and look completely different.
Not so much.
And I just went back to that old goth thing.
Well, and it's a real original idea, calling yourself a woman's name and doing all this horror-related things. Because, no one's ever heard of Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper. Yeah, I suppose that's true.
So I'm actually going to go see in a couple weeks.
Alice Cooper. Yep.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Minute starts with a medium shot of Henry standing at the machines, kind of a canted angle a little bit, very expressionistically lit from below, and he's muttering to himself, he's pumped, man. Everything has been leading up to this moment.
Is he muttering or almost even just mouthing? Can you hear him even
You can't hear anything. Yeah. He's just sort of,
Yeah, he's intense.
Yeah,
he's
primed.
Is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yep.
It's going perfectly.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a close-up of Fritz just kind of grinning like an idiot.
Yeah. This is a thing that it is. I did have it for this minute. At that one in particular, and sometimes others, I can't tell if he's grinning or grimacing. But that's the kind of the way he looks.
there's a shot
it's
later
true of Renfield too. Sometimes.
Yes,
He
there's a
has them,
shot
like-
later, the same continuation of the same shot later, where he is grimacing.
Yeah. Okay.
But this first one, to me, it looks like he was grinning.
Grinning. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's really into this.
Well,
For
he's
some-
you know
we've
he's
talked
been
about that before.
He's been
but he's really
in
into
this
it.
as deep as Henry.
Yeah.
And I assume Fritz did most of the dirty work.
Yeah. Seemed that way.
Seems so anyway.
Yeah.
Although Henry's in there digging a
Kind of
grave.
see him do quite a bit.
Yeah,
Well,
he's-
that's true. Henry did get
he's
his hands dirty.
got his hands
literally.
dirty. Yeah.
But he didn't climb that gibbet, and he didn't go in the window and get that
No,
brain.
he did not.
That turned out all right?
Yeah, that worked out fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You
That
got the
was-
right
there was
one,
no,
right?
no problem.
Okay, good.
No problem.
This was maybe I wanted to double check.
Yeah, just no, everything was cool.
And you multiple times now in this one you see Victor cowering
Cowering.
from the lightning.
He's hiding his face
Yeah.
in her fur jacket.
Yeah, she reacts to him.
Yeah.
She doesn't
I
do
mean, she's
anything.
looking, she's watching this
Yeah, and
play
it's the
out.
lightning.
And he is.
Has he been hit by lightning? Is that what happened?
maybe that's why.
Shit, more
Oh,
lightning.
jeez, it was that killed his father. I don't know.
Yes. Oh, it's a tragic story.
Yeah.
Victor's father,
Herr Moritz.
the Baron Moritz,
Senior, yeah, was
Victor Senior,
killed by lightning.
killed by lightning.
I don't know, but yeah, it's a really odd reaction. Way overreact. Opposite of
It's
the
noticeable.
last time
it's not
we.
something we're making up.
No,
to
it's,
make fun of
it's-
this guy that we've
no,
been making fun of for 25 minutes.
Yeah, for the past couple months.
It's
yeah.
odd.
Yeah, it's a really bizarre overreaction versus him not doing anything in the previous two shots, where he's just staring blankly towards the camera.
When all kinds of interesting,
Well,
scary
yeah,
shit's
crazy
going
stuff's
on.
going on.
Yep.
So-
Meanwhile, Waldman, his look now has transformed. I believe it was last week you said he's starting to buy it or something
Yeah, he's
like
starting
that.
to play in it a
Now
little bit.
to me seems like he's watching this with great interest. He's intensely watching this
Yeah.
with great interest and fear.
Fear.
He is
Yeah.
really starting to buy this, and he's
Yeah.
sort of recoiling because he does react
He
too.
does-
But
pulls
I
back
feel
a
like
little
he's
bit.
recoiling at the horror of the
Yeah, it's like,
situation.
Holy
like-
fuck, this might actually work.
So what you've got is a situation where Kenneth Strickfaden has hooked up a bunch of fucking electrical
Doohickeys,
shit,
yeah.
and a thing went rattling up the bed goes rattling up to the ceiling,
Yeah.
and Waldman sees that and comes to some realization that of course,
Yeah.
he's got a cosmic ray diffuser. I don't know what it is that he sees.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah,
You know,
kinda something.
He's got a
happened.
resonarium.
There you go. It's a
He's got a
resonarium. Oh, sure, with
Well,
a
now, there you
resonarium.
got a resonarium.
Wow, I didn't realize you could-
Anybody with a resonarium could have done
I had
that.
a heart beating for 3 weeks once with a resonarium. Yeah, so no one sees anything happen. The bed, I call it a bed. I can't think what else to
Yeah,
call it. Is it like
table,
a
a bed,
like a stretcher
it's
or
a
whatever? It
gurney,
goes up
I
a
don't know.
gurney. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Let's call it a gurney.
Okay.
The bed goes up. No, the gurney goes up to the top. And then no one sees anything.
going-
Fritz, Henry, Waldman,
Elizabeth,
you, me.
yeah,
Nobody can see
nobody
anything.
can see what's going on
Just
up there.
the body disappears, but it's amazingly effective.
It is.
This is a great way to make a movie. I don't know if I can even put my finger on why that's effective. It's like a cheat, right? 'Cause
It is
nothing
kind
really
of a cheat
happens.
because nothing happens, but I think this is one of those instances where your imagination
Yeah, good
fills
point.
it in. And now part of that might be because we've seen all the sequels.
Yeah.
We've seen Young Frankenstein where you do see what goes on.
Yeah,
up
that's
there.
right.
That we've sort of filled it in.
Or Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, or just really any movie where
Yeah,
you
where you've
see
seen a
it as
big,
opposed to
big creation scene.
yeah, or yeah, yep.
Yeah. No, I mean, we had that great shot where it's the camera's obviously on a crane, down angle, and as the table rises, the camera tilts up and pulls back a little bit from it. It's a really impressive shot. But yeah, once it goes through
It's the best way to show that height.
Yeah, the verticality of these sets. Again, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes up through that hole in the
Is it still
ceiling.
there? I mean, is the building there?
I don't think so because just a few years ago they tore down the famous Stage 28 that had the Phantom of the Opera
Really?
set. Yeah.
Oh man, because they had that forever.
That was from 23, 5, whatever that was, 25. It was built for
So
that.
it's interesting because that movie did come out in 1925, but there's two versions, and I can't remember if there was a previous one or a later one.
It was
Didn't it come out again in 27
the
or
later
something?
one where they really clumsily added
Yeah.
some sound to it.
Yeah, I think it is 25. Anyway,
Anyway,
I
yeah, so
probably have that
they
somewhere.
put the set itself in storage, but they tore down and rebuilt. So I doubt
Okay, well,
I doubt the same building is there. There might be a soundstage on the same plot of land.
because I guess I was thinking it'd be interesting if somebody just told me, if I went to a place and they said this is where that happened, then I would look up.
Yes.
I would be like,
She's like, oh,
okay, the ceilings are very tall.
Yeah.
You're right. This is where they made it.
Yeah. Well, and it has to be because you can see the scrim that represents the sky
No. What?
above the, as you're looking up, it tilts up through the hole in the roof.
Yeah.
You can see the sky.
Yeah.
Which had to be some sort of scrim that had to be lit.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
So
yeah. it's probably another 3 feet
another
up.
3, 4, 5 feet up. Yeah. Because the
I'm trying to picture that other scene where Fritz was on the roof, but that wouldn't have to be the same thing at all. It probably wasn't. You know what I'm talking about earlier?
Where he's looking down. Oh no, the shot.
Oh, well, that's true. Where he's looking down. That's a better example. I was talking about the shot you were just about to say where we see it from outside. But you're right. He does look down from being up there, so it's probably tall enough for a hunchback to stand or
at least
crouch,
crawl out,
crawl around.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It's high up there. Point I'm trying to make. No, I wasn't trying to make any point. But I will make this point.
Okay.
It's very unsafe. That's a very unsafe stunt. You'll never convince me that the person on that table was safe.
No.
I'm sure it was.
No.
Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
We got one shot.
We got one shot, and that's why I think it's possibly true that it was not the actor that plays the monster.
It wasn't the question mark.
It wasn't the question mark.
Another question mark.
It was another question mark. It wasn't Lugosi, but very possibly, probably could have been Strickfaden.
Okay.
Like you said, there's nothing safe about that. That thing it's just 4 chains that's pulling it up. I don't even never noticed like a guide wire.
Sure, something kind of
cheating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 chains, and they're not real big.
And that's definitely a dude on there.
Oh, it's not a dummy. Yeah.
Not a dummy.
Not like in Mummy or something like that. Where
Mummy dummy?
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever noticed the beginning of the Mummy where they're in the room with the sarcophagus and the mummy in the background. Anytime where it's in the background, it's a dummy.
Oh.
It's only the actor when it's close up.
The actor.
Well
done.
The actor who shall remain nameless for another.
Maybe we'll solve the mystery of who played the mummy. It's uncanny.
We can unearth. It is uncanny.
Then the body comes down.
Yes.
The gurney comes down. The body comes down.
Well, first we get a bunch of shots of the equipment
Yeah.
whirring, sputtering, and this stuff shows up all over the place.
The actual shots.
The actual footage you see in the sequel. You see in pretty much all the sequels. They intercut it, irregardless of the fact that the stock film doesn't match. It shows up in Flash Gordon serials as the engine of a spaceship, of all things. When you're going into space, you want sparks flying all over the place.
That never occurred to me. I suppose you've got oxygen issues to begin with.
Right. So you want to consume as much of that to power your
burn
ship.
it up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Shows up in the Munsters.
Oh yeah. In one episode in particular, right?
Yeah.
Because that's part of that Strickfaden book is like. He gets credited then for that scene in the Flash Gordon movie where they just cut and he should get credited for it.
Yes.
But it's not like he showed up on the set of Flash Gordon, or maybe he did in that case.
I don't think so. No, it was just stock footage from Frankenstein.
Footage.
Yeah. So that stuff got around.
Yeah, I can't. I sort of can't get. Past that
torturing puppies
that notion of those 8mm films too, because when I was a kid and was watching those, Strickfaden probably had one of those. He's probably pretty proud of
had
it,
a print. I mean? Yeah, he might have had like a 16mm.
Probably had you can imagine. I'm sure Gadget Dude, he probably had those. He turned them on for guests.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen Frankenstein? I kind of remember that.
Here
he goes again.
Did
Never go over to Kenneth's house.
Did your 8mm have sound?
So that's what I don't remember. One of them did and one didn't.
Because my Frankenstein had
pretty
subtitles.
Sure Bride had subtitles.
Oh, because mine, the Bride had sound.
Okay.
But the Frankenstein had subtitles. Because I bought it before I got the sound project.
So the reason why I remember the Bride having, maybe this is the same for you, the Bride having subtitles is at some point it was unusual to actually hear the voices and the music and the sound to it, because I was accustomed to the beats. And the beats of a silent film are, of course, the thing happens and then a screen comes up, the actual title.
Oh, see, mine were superimposed along the bottom, like you would do now.
Okay, so Bride, I remember the Bride of Frankenstein. I remember him saying, the Bride of Frankenstein with his hands like that, and then the title card.
Okay.
We keep saying subtitles because you had subtitles.
I
didn't have subtitles. I had titles. Title cards, like a silent film.
Yeah, because my Frankenstein didn't have sound.
But it had subtitles.
Okay. Fascinating for everybody listening.
Stuff.
Yeah.
You're so jealous of us.
So now someone's going to break in Stately Lang Manor and ransack, trying to find my old Super 8 prints of...
And it's good. And then I think that you will not be surprised to find it's me. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, this would be the first place I would
You're
look would be your house.
Bill, again.
Oh.
So the body comes down.
Yes.
Dry. The gurney is dry.
Oh, yes, because it's
raining.
raining. Yeah.
So I guess there must be something
It's a little tarp.
that we don't see over. Well, because we see what the roof is like. It
saw
doesn't
the
seem
roof
like there's a
earlier.
tarp.
It
There's
doesn't
just that
seem-
robot up there.
Yeah.
So it's all right. I mean, it wasn't raining. I guess
Maybe the rain subsided.
Yeah, I mean, when we looked
was
out the
just
window earlier,
electrical storm.
it was sunny.
Sunny,
Or it was
yeah.
moony, whatever. Also, the body's not hooked up to anything. There are
No.
electrodes.
On the neck, yeah.
On the
which
neck.
were always, whenever you read about it as a kid,
Yeah.
it always said, well, that's where the electricity entered the body to bring it to life.
Yep.
But yeah, there's not like jumper cables attached
You'd think
to
there
them.
might be jumper cables.
Yeah, but no, they're
or
not even
someone
exposed.
might use a ring. They might use their ring.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a way on the future.
we got,
Or fucking
we got 10
centuries
10
from
years
now.
from now, yeah.
But
Even, you know,
however, it
and
could
the-
be wireless, and we see evidence
electrodes-
that there is wireless
oh,
electricity.
yeah, because there
going
are
through Tesla
sleeping, yeah.
coils. Yeah.
Right. But I don't believe that the electrodes are even exposed. I think they're wrapped up like the rest of it.
Yeah, at that point you don't even see them probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe they are hooked up. Something we just missed.
We just missed it.
You know, and I should say for any kids that are listening, when I say Tesla coils, I'm not talking about the Elon Musk car. This Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla.
Look him up.
Look him up. He's a fascinating individual.
Yep, that's right.
And more fascinating than Elon Musk, who's an interesting guy.
Yep.
I'm not making a judgment either way.
I'm making a judgment.
All right,
So let's
okay.
move on.
All right. Yeah, Henry throws a switch. You actually see him throw some kind of a switch or something, and then the table starts to descend.
And I noticed the table has two things that I noticed about it that I hadn't really thought of before. There's a little wheel on there that presumably you could turn, and then it would stand it upright.
Swivel, which you see in the sequel.
Which you don't see until the sequel, so
Right.
I didn't notice it. Also, there's just like a rag hanging there.
Yeah.
There's like little rags
Yeah,
and
there's
shit
some
hanging
stuff-
all over the place.
Well, this place, you know.
Well, I need to wipe my hands off after I touch the
that
the
thing's
body.
dead. Yeah.
Waldman
Yeah.
left it there.
yeah.
Did I say there was two things? Did I get the other thing?
Yeah, the tilting.
Oh, the tilting,
mechanism.
yeah, that's right. And it comes down.
The arm is now white.
Well, okay, so yeah, you've got this hand hanging off the side. The thing that freaked Fritz out so much, it's conveniently still hanging
Still
there.
hanging there,
Because
yeah.
it's kind of important right
It
now.
is, yeah. It's leading up to something really, really important.
And it's white, you say.
It's white or pale compared
Yeah.
to when it ascended, it was dark.
Right.
So that, I think, is to indicate, well, we'll find out in a few moments.
I think we find out in this one.
Find out, yeah, we do. And I also think as it's descending, now it's the actor who plays the part because the hand is very distinct looking. Mm-hmm. It looks like maybe it's Lugosi's hand,
Yeah,
maybe
somebody.
it's somebody, but it looks
somebody
very,
I've heard of.
Yeah, somebody you've heard of. It looks very, very distinctive.
Yeah.
It looks like his hand.
Yeah, he's got a kind of a sharp kind of...
Yeah.
The fingers kind of almost turned up a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's
I guess they do turn up a
it's
little
very distinctive.
bit. Yeah, and Henry says, it's alive.
He says
it very quietly.
says it
He says
quietly.
it's moving a couple of times in there.
Yeah.
But in this minute, I counted 3 times.
Three
he said
times.
it's alive. And we'll see if he says it
Says
again.
it anymore.
Next week, we find out if he says it's alive again.
Yep.
Prepare for a spine-tingling, nerve-shattering podcast featuring all your favorite monsters. You won't believe your ears when you listen to Monster Kid Radio. Hear your host, Derek M. Cook, and his ever-rotating stable of guests discuss your favorite classic and sometimes not-so-classic monster movies. Subscribe to Monster Kid Radio through iTunes or Stitcher, or visit monsterkidradio.net before the next weekly episode of Monster Kid Radio. Go through the archives for interviews with Sarah Karloff, Victoria Price, and Joel Hodgson. Listen to the discussions about movies like Creature from the Black Lagoon, Island of Terror, and King Kong. And don't forget convention coverage from Monster Bash and the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival, Classic Monsters, Modern Talk, and Ahead of Rondo Hatton. Only on Monster Kid Radio.